Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. So we had gotten the minimum and recommended requirements for Hogwarts Legacy, which, as you guys know, a hotly anticipated game, topping Steam charts weeks ahead of its release. This is going to be a monster of a release, but now the Twitter account for Hogwarts Legacy has come out and listed minimum requirements, recommended requirements, that's high specs, and then also ultra specs and ultra 4K specs. Let's go through all of them because this is going to be very relevant for you guys to run the game, and some surprising things right off the bat. Bear in mind that this is a game that's going to be released on last generation platforms, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and it is going to be released on the Nintendo Switch. That Nintendo Switch version, I don't know what they're doing, what kind of voodoo magic they're using, but they're gonna get it running on the Nintendo Switch. They got Witcher 3 running on the Switch, so I guess anything's possible, but some of the system requirements do surprise me based on the fact that it is gonna be on the Switch. So let's talk minimum requirements first. Intel Core i5 6600 and a Ryzen 5 1400. Alright, those are older CPUs. 6000 series i5 is a Skylake, older Ryzen 5 CPU, fine. Here's what's surprising to me. Minimum RAM requirement is 16 gigabytes. Like, for a game that's going to be running on the PS4 and X1, and it's going to be on the Switch, 16 gigabytes as a minimum requirement seems kind of hefty to me. We'll see. Hopefully 8 gigabyte machines are going to be able to run the game. Sometimes, you know, you can go a little bit below the minimum requirements and you'll still be good, but we'll see how that turns out. GTX 960 and RX 470 is minimum requirements, and yeah, those are your minimum. That is for a 720p at 30 frames per second low quality settings. That's probably pretty comparable to, probably a little bit less so, to how the game's gonna run on like PS4. I imagine on PS4 it'd be like 1080 30. Nonetheless, there you go with that, maybe like medium settings as well. Recommended high specs. Okay, i7 8700 or a Ryzen 5 3600 seems fairly standard to me there. 16 gigabytes of RAM, GeForce GTX 1080 Ti or an RX 5700 XT or an Intel Arc A770. How about that? The Intel Arc getting some love. Yeah, nothing too crazy there. 1080 Ti is an older GPU. At the time, it was a monster of a GPU, but 1080 is a little bit dated. Although, 1080, if you built a PC prior to the world going to hell, 1080 is probably, you know, one of those GPUs that you're running, because what I usually recommend to people is you buy a GPU, you skip a generation or two, and then you buy another GPU. So let's say you bought a 1080, you skipped the 2000 series GPU, you wanted to buy a 3000 series GPU, but the world went to hell, so nobody wanted to pay that kind of price for it, so you're still rocking a 1080. Well, a 1080 is going to get you by with this game, so good on you for that. That is, it also notes, recommends an SSD, 1080p 60 frames per second at high quality settings, so that is probably going to be pretty comparable, I would imagine, to like the PlayStation 5 in performance mode, probably a little bit less than that. Usually performance mode is like, you know, 1080, 1440, and 60 frames per second, so take that for what you will. Okay, ultra specs, this is where things get spicy. The Intel Core i7 10700K 3.8 gigahertz or an AMD Ryzen 7 5800X at 3.8 gigahertz, 32 gigabytes of RAM. I hate seeing that, bro. I hate seeing 32 gigabytes of RAM. I still am rocking 16 gigabytes in my machine, so yeah, they're absolutely gonna mollywop me. Hopefully I can get by on, you know, this style of performance, because this is what I'm shooting for. RTX 2080 Ti or a Radeon RX 6800 XT. That's probably, you know, what to expect when you're talking about a game going for this kind of performance and this kind of setting. Notes have it, SSD obviously, 1440p, 60 frames per second, ultra quality setting. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to tweak around with the various settings and what's going to be available as far as what we can tweak, but nonetheless. And then there is ultra 4K. Once again, same CPUs, i7 10700K and then Ryzen 7 5800X, 32 gigabytes of RAM, RTX 3090 Ti or a Radeon RX 7900 XT. Absolutely want to vomit looking at that. 32 gigabytes with a 3090 Ti. Thankfully, I game at 1440p. I do have a 1440p 144Hz monitor. I feel like for my setup, a 3080, 16 gigs of RAM, all that good stuff, 1440p is perfectly suitable for me. This is, of course, 4K, 60 frames per second, ultra quality setting. So That is gonna be a monster of a game to run at higher settings. I don't understand why the first, like, response to this tweet, I'm not gonna put people on Twitter, random people on Twitter under fire. Why do I even look at Twitter replies? Like, I see a reply and I'm just like, this reply doesn't make any sense, but, like, you know what? I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna go there right now. Need to contain myself here. Nonetheless, Hogwarts Legacy is one of those games that is one of the hotly anticipated games of the year, and I know so many people that are insanely excited for this game, to a point where, like, I'm telling my personal friends, I'm like, yo, cool your jets a little bit, like, please, you're setting yourself up for disappointment here. We've been through the Cyberpunk song and dance, like, we don't need to do this again. I'm sure the game is gonna be good, but, like, if you're expecting the second coming of video games here, I don't think Hogwarts Legacy is gonna be that. Maybe that's me doing a disservice to the game. I'm not a big Harry Potter guy, as you guys might know, but I am an advocate of not, hyping yourself up too much. I know sometimes we're victims of the moment, and you just get so excited for a game. I'm sure I'll get like that when Final Fantasy 16 is almost here, but Hogwarts Legacy, I really think you need to temper your expectations just a little bit. Like, be excited for the game. I'm all about being excited for games, and, just don't expect this game to, like, cure your toxic relationships or rebuild your life or cure your mental health. I don't think a video game is gonna do that. It can be a step in doing that, but yeah, I just think, like, sometimes you're expecting the world out of these video games and you have these gargantuan expectations, and there's no way for these games to, like, actually live up to that grandiose of expectations. I just always am gonna be an advocate for that. In terms of tempering your expectations, there's a billion games coming out. If one doesn't deliver at the highest of levels, there'll be a billion other games to play. Don't worry too much about it. Go, be excited for the game, play the hell out of it when it drops on February the 10th, and yeah, have a good time with it. Like, that's all I'm saying. I just think sometimes we do get a little bit too excited for certain games, and this is one that, just anecdotally speaking, just speaking to people in my personal life, I am shocked at how excited people are for this game. Look, I'm excited for this game, and maybe it's just me underestimating how big Harry Potter is, because it's been kind of, like, startling to me at the numbers this game is pulling. The fact that this game is the top-selling game on Steam, and, we're weeks away from release, it might be among, like, the 3 best-selling games of the year. It might be the best-selling game of the year because it's hitting every platform. Like, Spider-Man 2 is not gonna beat this. Hogwarts Legacy is gonna, like, destroy Spider-Man 2 in sales because it's on every platform. And I feel like there's more buzz for this game. That might be just because Hogwarts Legacy, is a few weeks away and Spider-Man 2 is gonna be a long ways away. But you guys get what I'm saying. Nonetheless, I also do want to note, if you do want to buy the game a little bit cheaper, Green Man Gaming is the place to go. 15% off for $51. I believe you can use the January 18th code. That is JAN18 that they are running, and you'll get it a little bit cheaper. But right now on their site, 15% off, $51 if you don't want to spend that full $60. But that'll do it for me. Those are your system requirements. Let me know your guys' expectations for Hogwarts Legacy. Maybe I'm being a Debbie Downer, maybe I'm being a little bit pessimistic, but guess what? Pessimism has treated me pretty well. That's why I don't get overly excited for games coming out. And you just never know. You never know what's gonna happen with games, even if they're looking like the second coming. Don't view them as that all the time. That's gonna do it for me. Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate it if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.